CuBr and CuBr2. Go ahead and name these two compounds. Now let's start with CuBr. Bromide has a -1 charge, and there's only one of them. So copper has to balance that -1 charge, so it must have a +1 charge. So therefore, this is going to be called copper 1 bromide because it has a +1 charge. Now what about the second example? What's the name for it? Well, in this case, we have 2 bromide ions, so the total charge is -2. So therefore, copper has to have a +2 charge to balance the 2 negative charges. So it's going to be copper 2 bromide. Now what about CrS and Cr2S3? Go ahead and try those two examples. So let's find the charge on sulfur. Sulfur has a -2 charge, which means in this example, chromium has to have a +2 charge. So this is going to be called chromium 2 sulfide. Now for the second example, there's 3 sulfide ions. So the total negative charge is -6, which means the total positive charge has to be +6. Now there's 2 chromium ions. So for the total charge to add up to +6, each of these chromium ions have to have a +3 charge. So therefore, this is going to be called chromium 3 sulfide. So hopefully these examples are helping you to get a good idea of how to name these types of ionic compounds. Try this, SNO and SNO2. Oxygen has a -2 charge, so tin has to have a +2 charge. So the first one is called tin 2 oxide. Now let's move on to our next example. So this time, there's 2 oxide ions with a total negative charge of -4. But there's only one tin atom, so therefore it has to have a +4 charge. So this is going to be called tin 4 oxide. Now for those of you who need to review the Roman numeral system, here's some basics. This is 1, this is 2, this represents 3. Now this is 5. Now if you put the I symbol to the left of the 5, it really means subtraction, like 5 minus 1, so this is 4. If you put it to the right of the 5, it means addition. 5 plus 1 is 6. So if you want to write 7, put 2 I's to the right of the V. So that represents 7. So just a basic tutorial of Roman numerals. In the course of this class, you don't really need to go past 7. I haven't seen any examples beyond that. So if you know these numbers, you should be good. Now let's try this one. PbSO4 and PbCO3 2. SO4 is sulfate and it has a -2 charge, which means Pb has to have a +2 charge. So this is going to be called lead 2 sulfate. Now for the last example, carbonate has a -2 charge, but there's 2 carbonate ions in that compound, so the total negative charge is -4. And there's only one Pb atom, so it has to bear the entire +4 charge. So this is going to be called lead 4 carbonate. And that is it for this video. So now you know how to name ionic compounds.